O daughters of Zion, O Abraham's sons, hear the words of your father, hear his promise of love. I will make you a blessing, so count the stars if you can. You will be a great nation. I will give you this land.
Hey everyone, this is Greg. I'm the missions pastor here at West Valley Christian Church, and I've got the honor to talk today in Holy Week about Wednesday, which Wednesday of Holy Week is often called Silent Wednesday because there's really not a whole lot of information in the Bible about it. There's some people try and put things onto Wednesday and try and rearrange the things that don't really have timestamps in there and put them onto Wednesday, but I don't really see a purpose for that. I don't see a need for that myself. As a matter of fact, I think it's really kind of cool that we see that there's a day of silence in the ministry of Christ. There's something powerful with the concept to me that Christ needed some downtime. We can kind of piece together some things about that, like he was staying out in Bethany, and Mary, Martha, and Lazarus were out in Bethany, so he's probably staying with them. Him and his disciples would go back and forth between Jerusalem and Bethany every day. It was about 1.5 miles. So they'd walk into Jerusalem in the morning, and then on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday when they went in, Jesus basically lit the city on fire. I mean, the first day he casts out the tax collectors from the temple. Then he kind of just lays into the religious elite like a hammer. And then he goes about breaking social barriers that were tearing the people apart. On Wednesday, however, he just stayed at home. He stayed in Bethany. He probably spent the evening having dinner with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. He just wanted to have some time with some friends, knowing that was the last moment that they were going to see him alive. Then during the day, he probably spent a lot of time with his disciples, just hanging out, just being with them, spending some quality time with friends. He even probably spent a lot of time with Judas, not trying to stop him, not trying to get him not to do what he knew needed to be done. But he probably spent a lot of time with him just to let him know there was still hope, and that even after his betrayal, there would be grace, and there'd be a chance for him to come back. I think I know what he must have done in the morning, though. See, there's a small ridge between Bethany and Jerusalem, and that's a mountain ridge that on one side of it, there's about 1 mile-long stretch where there used to be a bunch of olive trees. And this area is called the Mount of Olives. And at the bottom of this area, there was an olive press or an oil press for olives. And this was called the Garden of Gethsemane. And Jesus would have known about this because he would have gone to it many times. It says in several times in the Gospels that Christ would go out alone in the morning to pray and find a place of solitude. And this would be a perfect place of solitude. It'd be a perfect place for him to find a peaceful place to connect with God. Can you imagine what he was thinking, though? I mean, there would have been excitement that he was about to crush all of the sins of the world. But at the same time, there also would have been fear and pain. He knew what was going to happen. Whatever was going to happen here, whatever was going to happen the next couple of days, was going to be a lot worse than just a torture and a horrific death. Something tells me that bearing the weight of all of mankind for all time would have made the crucifixion itself seem rather simple. Hebrews 5:7 says, during the days of Jesus' life on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions and fervent cries and tears to the one who could save him from death, and he was heard. I'm sure this took place on Thursday night when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, but I'm also sure that it started on Wednesday morning. I can't imagine what Christ went through that day, but I do know that even though he was fully God, he was also fully human, and that meant he would have felt fear and pain and the weight of what was about to come. I think the most incredible part about this is what he did with that feeling. See, it's not wrong to feel fear. It depends on what we do with that feeling. And what Christ did was he prayed. He probably fasted that entire morning and then went and he spent hours connecting with God. This example means a lot to me. I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know the weight that you're bearing. I do know that by the example of Christ, however, what to do with that weight. Spend time in prayer. Spend time with God. Spend time with him until that weight is gone. The obstacles in our lives, they'll still be there. We don't have to carry the weight. I got a challenge for you. I want you to spend the next 12 hours fasting. And if you're sleeping, if you're watching this on Wednesday night, start the next morning. But spend 12 awake hours fasting. And it doesn't matter what you fast. You can fast for food. You can fast against just not going on Facebook if you want. Maybe it's not watching television. Maybe it's fasting against some sports or things that you're doing. You choose whatever it is, but make it a sacrifice so that you can spend time fasting and connecting with God. And for all the time during that 12 hours that you would do, doing the thing that you're fasting from, connect with God and pray to him about the weight that you're bearing right now. God gave Christ the power to carry the sins of the world. He can give us the power to carry the weight that we're bearing right now. It's the middle of Holy Week, and we're getting ready to finish this week off in a powerful way here at West Valley. We want you to join us. We got a bunch of services on Sunday. We got a service on Saturday night. We got a service on Friday night. Be with us, experience Easter, experience worship, and experience God with us, and invite your one. Thanks.
I will give you this land.